There's a moment most people recognize, even if they've never named it. You're with someone, maybe you've known them for years, maybe you just met, and something happens that has nothing to do with attraction. They say something thoughtful, they laugh at the right moment, they look at you in a way that makes you feel, briefly, like you're the only real thing in the room, and you think, I want to be near this person forever. That feeling has a name. It's not lust and it's not quite friendship. It sits in a strange middle place, intensely physical and yet somehow more than physical. It's the feeling that Romanticism, the philosophical and artistic movement of the 1800s, tried harder than almost anything else in history to understand. And it got some things profoundly right, and some things completely, fascinatingly wrong. The Romantic movement emerged in the late 18th century, mostly in Europe, as a direct rebellion against what came before it. The Enlightenment, the era that worshipped reason, logic, science, and order, had tried to explain the world in clean, measurable terms. Romanticism looked at that project and said, "You're missing something. You're missing everything that can't be measured. Emotion, nature, the sublime, the inner life, and most of all, love." The Romantics believed that real love was the highest thing a human being could experience. Not comfort, not companionship, not a good match. Love as a kind of transcendence, a force that could lift you completely outside of ordinary existence. Poets like Keats and Byron, composers like Chopin, painters like Delacroix, they all circled the same idea obsessively, that somewhere out there is a person who completes you, and when you find them, you'll know. The feeling will be total, it will be overwhelming, it will feel, frankly, like the world has cracked open. Which is a beautiful idea, it's also the source of a very specific kind of misery that millions of people are still living inside right now. Here's where Romanticism made its first serious mistake. It fused two things that are real on their own and very different from each other into one enormous concept, and then insisted that concept had to be found in a single person. The first thing is erotic desire, the pull towards someone's body, the electricity of closeness. This is ancient, biological, and fairly well understood. It runs on novelty, on mystery, on the not yet known. Evolutionary psychologists will tell you it tends to peak in the early phase of a relationship and then, in most people, in most relationships, gradually softens. This is not a flaw, it's how the system works. The second thing is companionate love. The deep, stable warmth you feel for someone you know completely. A person who has seen you on your worst days and stayed. A person you could sit in silence with and feel more at ease than anywhere else on earth. This runs on familiarity, on trust, on accumulated time. It tends to grow the longer two people know each other, the opposite of erotic desire. These two things are both real, both valuable, both genuinely beautiful in their own way. But they are not the same thing, and they don't run on the same fuel. Romanticism said they should be. And not only should they must be in the same person at the same time indefinitely. Anything less is settling. Anything less means you haven't found the right one yet. You can already feel how much pressure that puts on every relationship that has ever existed. The romantic ideal didn't just describe love. It created expectations that quietly restructure how people experience their own lives. Think about what we now consider normal. We expect our partner to be our best friend, our primary emotional support, our intellectual equal, our co-parent if we have children, our financial collaborator, our travel companion, and also the person we want to sleep with reliably years into knowing everything about them. We expect this one human being to carry the entire weight of what used to be distributed across an entire community: family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, the village. That's a new idea in the history of humanity, and it's a very heavy load to put on one person. The philosopher Alain de Botton has written about this extensively, and his argument is sharp. The reason modern relationships fail at such extraordinary rates isn't that people are worse at love than they used to be. It's that we expect love to do things it was never designed to do. We expect the initial intensity, the obsession, the electricity, the feeling that this person is somehow more real than other people, to be the foundation of a lasting life. And then we're blindsided when that intensity changes shape over time because we were told it wasn't supposed to. But here's the thing, the Romantics weren't wrong that love is profound. They weren't wrong that it matters, that it shapes us, that the search for genuine intimacy is one of the most human things to do. What they got wrong was the geometry of it. They treated love like a destination, like something you fall into, fully formed with the right person. But the evidence, both scientific and, let's be honest, experimental, suggests that love is more like a practice, something that has to be built, rebuilt, and actively tended, and the two ingredients it's built from, desire and deep familiarity, don't automatically coexist. They require different kinds of attention. Esther Perel, the psychotherapist and writer, has spent her career studying exactly this tension. Her central observation is almost paradoxical. Desire thrives on distance, on mystery, on the sense that the other person is not entirely yours. But closeness, the thing that makes love feel safe and real and lasting, does the opposite. It pulls toward full knowledge, full presence, full possession. So at some level, long-term love is always managing a creative tension between two forces that pull in opposite directions. And pretending that tension doesn't exist doesn't make it go away. What it means, concretely, is that good relationships aren't the ones where everything stays effortlessly the same. They're the ones where both people understand that what they have will keep changing shape, and decide to keep choosing each other through those changes. That's less like the plot of a romantic movie. It's more like a long, complicated, occasionally difficult, ultimately very meaningful project. So, what do we do with Romanticism? We probably shouldn't throw it out. The Romantic movement gave us some of the most beautiful art ever made. It took seriously something the world before it had often dismissed or treated transactionally, the depth and dignity of emotional life. It argued that what you feel matters, that love is not just a contract or a convenience, but an experience worth building a life around. That's worth keeping. What we can let go of is the fantasy that it all comes pre-packaged, that somewhere there's a person who will complete you without effort, desire you without end, and know you without confusion. That love, to be real, has to feel like a film score playing under ordinary life, because the stranger thing, the actually more interesting thing, is that love without the fantasy might be deeper than love with it. When you know someone's flaws and choose them anyway, when the electricity is quieted and what's left is something quieter and more durable, when being known, really known, stops feeling like a vulnerability and starts feeling like the whole point. That's not a compromise. That might be what the Romantics were reaching for all along, and just didn't have the language to describe.